I'm already a millionaire in my mind. I don't see it yet, but I believe it now. In the same way a seed is called by its finished form, I'm accepting my divine inheritance as a child of God. I'm meant to have life and have it more abundantly. My treasure on earth shall correspond directly to the treasure in the heaven of my mind. Abundance is my birthright. Ashe, amen, and so it is. My name is Julian Gordon, and I'm author of Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. After becoming a multimillionaire through real estate investing, I was moved by God at the beginning of the pandemic to share my money mindset that allowed me to quit my job in January of 2009 at the bottom of the last recession and achieve full financial freedom. I own my mental real estate before I own any physical real estate. This book is like some of your favorites: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, As a Man Thinketh, Think and Grow Rich, and the Bible all in one. But the divine downloads and thoughts that are in here are 100% original and came for a 6-month period at the beginning of the pandemic. This book is normally $100 on Amazon if you went there right now, but I want to give you access to it for free by inviting you to our next reading group. Yes, the reading group is 100% free. Every weekday for 100 days straight, I'll be reading and discussing the 10 money commandments in the book that make money come to you in your life easily, more frequently, and abundantly. And it will take about 30 to 45 minutes as we read 3 to 5 pages per day until we finish the book and reprogram your mind around money. Why 100 days? Well, if you are 30 years old, you've lived for 10,950 days. And we have to deprogram and reprogram the negative, scarcity-based money mindset society has taught you. And I believe I can do that in just 1% of the time in about 100 days. I'm done with shelf help. You know, when you buy a book to change your life, but you never read it, it just sits on your bookshelf and collects a whole bunch of dust. We off that. When is the last time you had an author actually read their book to you out loud because they cared about you getting the information in your soul? I'm not just here to get this book in your hands. More importantly, I want to get it in your head and your heart, because that's where the real transformation occurs, in the conscious and the subconscious mind. As scripture says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is not the type of book that you just read once. To renew the subconscious mind requires repetition over and over and over. So if you joined us last time, I encourage you to join us again. I myself have read this book over 10 times already. So click the link to join our next reading group, and when you sign up, I'm going to give you the first 2 chapters of the book for absolutely free on what is money and abundance is your birthright, so that you can start your journey to a more abundant life today.
What's good, everybody? This is your boy Thavian coming back to you with another day of the reading of the Rich and Righteous. If you're new, we're on day 29. Tap into those previous readings. Day 29, we got a long read ahead of us, so we want to go ahead and get started. Once again, we're in Money Commandment number 6. If you're new, there are 10 money commandments, and we're now on Money Commandment number 6, how the rich and righteous hold money. How the rich and righteous hold money. So we're going to go ahead and have Julian get started so we can get day 29 kicked off. Like I said, we got a lot of concepts to cover today. So I want to go ahead and get them done in one swoop. You're probably going to want to listen to this 2 or 3 times. At the end of this video, I will be letting you guys know about a special project once you get all this information going. So let's go ahead and get day 29 started.
So we're reading the cash flow framework, and we're on page 218, and the scripture for the day is Luke 16, 1 through 2. There was a certain rich man which had a steward, and the same was accused unto him that he had wasted his goods. And he called him and said unto him, how is it that I hear this of thee? Give an account of thy stewardship, for thou mayest be no longer steward. Okay? So we are called to be steward. We don't own this money. We don't possess this money, right? We talked about not being possessed by our possessions, but we are stewards of it while we have it. And we are blessed with it by the Most High, and how aligned we are with the Most High. And the better and better steward we become, the more money that comes unto us. And so that is our real work, is becoming a steward of that which has been given to us and that we've been blessed with. And so that's what this is about. And this particular servant could not give an account of the blessings that he had received and how he multiplied those blessings. We are supposed to be fruitful and multiply what we have, what God has already given us. And so that is how we will be judged, right? Jesus cursed the fig tree for not bearing fruit, right? Judge a tree by its fruit. Some of you have been blessed with amazing soil, with roots, with all the nourishment, but for some reason your tree, the tree of your life, the tree of life, is not bearing fruit. And we have to understand why. And a lot of it has to do with the weeds that are in our thought mind, in our life. Okay? So, top of page 218. There's a systematic way that cash should flow to you and through you. And I put it together for you in what I call the cash flow framework. The goal is to keep money in circulation, just like oxygen stays in constant circulation. This system's ultimate goal is financial freedom. Financially, that is when your passive income is greater than your monthly living expenses. Spiritually, that is when you are free from having to think about money and it no longer dictates your daily decisions, allowing you to keep your focus on God. All right? Everybody type, I'm focused on God. See, the goal is not to focus on money. You're here to focus on God. Right? You're not here to focus on money. You're here to focus on God. We're stay in tune with the Most High. And if we do that, right, if we seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, then we know that all these things that we need money for will be added unto us. It will automatically be added. There's a sequence of success. And behind that sequence is a system. And I believe that this is the system to help you do it. Before we get to that point, we have to ensure that our financial foundation is set up for maximum success. I want to show you how I automate my wealth through a series of accounts at a few different banks. The only reason we are using banks is for safety and security until we have identified the best ways to give the cash consciousness. So yesterday we talked about you are a bank, right? We only use the banks as temporary holders, right? Because of the FDIC insurance, we're using them as temporary holders. We don't want you to put it under your mattress, your house catches fire, then the money's gone, right? And so we're only using banks for the safety and security, right? But that's not the ultimate goal, is for the money to be safe and secure. The money is supposed to be in flow. You can replace some of the banks with assets that I outlined in the value holder hierarchy in the last chapter as well. Follow the system and steps below to begin circulating money through your personal economy the right way. All right. So again, here's a beautiful visual of how it works, and we're going to talk through that now. All right. Step 0, your cash pot is your current checking and savings account. Most of you have that already. This is step 0 because it already exists. We will call this accessible bank number 1. Accessible bank number 1. This is where most people's personal financial system ends. All their money sits in one account, not working for them, earning minimal interest. Right? We talked about the interest rate on a savings account being 0.03% and taking 2,400 years to double. This is meant to be a receiving pot for inflows of money, which will then be allocated to other accounts automatically. The problem with having all of your money just sitting in one account is that if we see it, we spend it. And you know, when we spend money, we do what? We end money. It's just like when there's food in the refrigerator. Even if you're not hungry, just because it is there, what do? You eat, right? You're not even hungry, but just because the refrigerator is full of food, you feel inclined to eat. Your checking and savings account should never be at the same bank so that you can't see both when logging in online or on your phone. The goal is to transmute our money into something more valuable as soon as possible, or keep it out of this sight and therefore out of mind if we need to hold it temporarily until we find a good investment. Step number 1. The next account is your living or operating expenses. It is also a checking account at accessible bank number 1 because you need access to this money throughout the month to live. This account should get a direct deposit from your cash pot bi-weekly or monthly according to your monthly budget. Here, we keep 2 months of living expenses. If your mortgage, car notes, gas, student loans, kids' education, food, insurances, internet, and entertainment budget is $3,000 per month, then $6,000 should be in this account. Every month, it will fluctuate from $6,000 to $3,000 as money goes in and comes out like oxygen in your lungs, since this is what you live off of. All of your monthly bills should be paid with credit cards first to protect you as a consumer, build your credit, and earn points. And those credit cards should be paid off automatically from this account on a specific day of every month. This will keep you from going over your monthly budget. The extra $3,000 is just backup in case a one-time life event occurs, that throws your monthly budget off a little. We never want to pay unnecessary overdraft fees to the bank, but we want to leave as little money as possible with them. Is that clear? Okay. So 2 months of your operating expenses. So yes, that means you need to go look at the past 3 months, right? And see how much you've actually spent. And you need to average that out, right? So let's say you spent 4,500 one month, 4,000 another month, and then 3,500 the next month. The average is 4,000. So your operating expenses are around $4,000 a month. So for you, this account would have $8,000 in it when it's topped off. And then during the month, from the 1st to the 30th, it's going down from 8,000 to 4,000 as you're living off of that. You're paying all these expenses. The other 4,000 is just buffer in case a one-time life expense occurs, like your radiator breaks down on your car, and now you have to pay $1,500 to get that fixed. Right, that buffer is just there, right? Because we don't want to go into overdraft fees or I don't even know the terminology because it's not part of my reality. It's overdraft fees and insufficient funds, I think. Okay. So we want to get to that point where we don't even know the names of these things because they're not part of our experience. Okay. Okay. So now, step 2. The next account is your sacred stash. Okay. We talked about storing money versus saving money. Your sacred stash is where you store money. Okay. We're no longer saving. Type, I am no longer a saver. I'm no longer a saver. We do not save money beyond our emergency fund. Okay. So the next account is your sacred stash. This is a temporary savings account in inaccessible bank. Number 1, inaccessible, meaning that I can't get to it quickly. We don't want to see this money. We are stashing money away there for future investments, near future. Okay, not way out someday later. Right? What did I say? Someday is the favorite day of the who? Of the week. Someday is the favorite day of the week. W-E-A-K. Weak people, someday is their favorite day. Okay. So these are not future investments as in way out there. It's in the near future. We're actively looking for the next investment. The goal is to invest this money, not earn interest from the bank. Okay. The goal is to invest this money, not earn interest from the bank. At least 10% of all receivables that go into the cash pot should go into this account, no matter what. So if you and your significant other make $4,000 a month each and $8,000 a month is going into the cash pot, then $800 should go into your sacred stash. You are tithing to yourself. Okay? They only told you to tithe to the church. No, we know that where is the temple? The temple is here. You tithe to yourself. Okay? At least 10% of all receivables that go into the cash pot should go into this account no matter what. This is how you tithe or give 10% to yourself first. If your income is fluctuating, then this has to be done manually every month, since banks only allow you to automate a certain amount rather than a percentage of what comes in. Okay, so for those of you who are entrepreneurs or whatnot, 1 month is 10,000, the next month is 6. You're gonna have to do this manually every single month. And we have a habit or a ritual where we calculate our net worth and our cash flow every single month. And so this is the time where you would do that transaction. Okay. If your income is consistent, we're on page 221 in the middle. If it is consistent, then the direct deposit can be automated. In addition, any true profit, okay, true profit after your emergency fund is filled also goes into this account. And any 50-50 match from a fund expense goes into this account too. So what do I mean by true profit? Remember, for a company or business, a company's profits is its revenues minus expenses equals profits, or profits or income. But what the American dream has taught you is that your salary is your income. No, your salary is your revenue. Okay, so your salary, we just did an example of a couple making $4,000 each. That's $8,000. Their revenue is $8,000. Now, if their living expenses are $6,000, then their true profit every single month is only $2,000. That $2,000 goes into this sacred stash. So in addition, any true profit after your emergency fund is filled also goes into this account, and any 50-50 match from a fund expense goes into this account. So what is the fund? The fund is when you know you are consciously about to spend money on a liability. So, or something that doesn't appreciate or actually add value. So, for example, you're going to spend $2,000 on a furniture set, right? Or even a vacation. If I'm going to do something for fun, then I need to match that, right, with an investment. So if I spend $2,000, I can only go on that $2,000 vacation when I actually have $4,000 because I'm putting another $2,000 as an investment. So if I'm going to eat an apple now, I'm actually going to plant a seed for an apple tree in the future at the same time. This is how you guarantee that you never go broke, right? So you don't just go on that vacation once you get the $2,000. You actually need $4,000 so that $2,000 can go towards the fund, and then the other $2,000 will go into your sacred stash for a future investment. Is this making sense? All right. So any 50-50 match, that's the 50-50 match from a fund expense go into this account too. As this account fills, we are actively looking for ways to give this cash consciousness through the right deal and right timing. All right. Step 3. And these steps actually match the numbers on the chart. Okay, the steps match the numbers on the chart. But are y'all with me? Type I got it if you got it. Type I got it if you're still with me. All right. Step 3. Now we want to look at our primary revenue stream number 1. Your primary revenue stream will likely be your after-tax salary. We want to always explore ways to increase that. If you have a job, your options include asking for a raise, finding a higher paying job, working overtime, and increasing your sales commissions. If you have a business, your options include getting new customers, increasing prices, upselling existing customers, and increasing customer retention. Those are really the only way to increase your wealth, family. Those are really the only way to increase not your wealth, but the inflow, right? In terms of active income. These are the only ways to do it. And so we want to turn to that because that is what is initially filling the cash pot and actually gets all of these particular accounts to top off where they need to be, like their emergency fund. We have to fill that first, and that's step number 4. All right. So some of you have been just waiting for your employer to honor you and at some point give you a raise because you just perform well. I encourage everybody here who has a job, who knows that they've been showing up and doing amazing for the organization that they work with. Remember, we don't work for organizations, we work with them. I encourage you to go ask for a raise. What's the worst they could do? Say no. If you've been at a static salary, yet you've been performing for a period of time, go ask for a raise, family. Go ask. It will not hurt you to do that. Stop waiting for other people to give you your value. Instead, claim your value. Okay. Now, if you ask for $30,000 more and they say no, then maybe either you aren't able to articulate your value or they can't actually afford you. And if they can't afford you, if you think you're worth this, but they can only pay you this, then you may have to find another opportunity. Okay. But we're not going to sit here passively and wait for somebody to say, hey, we'd like to give you a raise. Companies aren't doing that in the way that they used to at this moment in time, in this stage of the economy. All right. So step number 4. The next account is your emergency fund. This is a savings account at inaccessible bank number 3, right? Inaccessible bank number 3. This can be anywhere from 3 to 12 months of living expenses, depending on your risk tolerance. If your living expenses are $3,000 per month and you believe in your ability to bounce back from any financial curveball, like a loss of a job in 3 months, then you only need $9,000. Okay, 3 months times $3,000 a month is $9,000. If you are more risk averse and need 12 months, that would be $36,000, 12 months times $3,000 per month in your emergency fund, which means it will take longer for you to fill your emergency fund and thus longer for you to start investing. Everything that comes into your cash pot, minus your living expenses, minus the 10% to your sacred stash, should go towards filling your emergency fund first to the level that you desire. When I quit my job January 9, 2009, excuse me, January 9, 2009, I had a 6-month runway. My living expenses were $3,000 a month, right? I'm single, living in Brooklyn, New York, had an apartment, had a roommate, had some student debt, no other debt beyond that, and some living expenses, right? Subway card. So my living expenses weren't crazy. So 3,000 times 6 was 18,000. That's when I transitioned. Once my emergency fund was filled up, right? So you need to determine what that is for you. Is it a 3-month? Is it a 6-month? Is it 12-month? Now, the more risk averse you are, the longer it's going to take to fill up that emergency fund, which then means the longer it's going to take for you to get to the next stage, which is actually investing, right? So you need to determine, especially if you have a partner, you need to have a conversation about what feels good for you. The equation is your salary minus your living expenses minus your 10% sacred stash contribution equals your true profit. If your after-tax salary is $5,000, then your true profit is $5,000 minus $3,000 in living expenses minus 10% times that $5,000, which is $500, equals $1,500. The emergency fund is pure cash that we are willing to let sit. This is the only cash we are happy to allow a bigger bank to hold. The value to us is the liquidity. Remember, the only thing really valuable about cash when we started reading the book is its liquidity, right? That it can be turned into and converted to anything relatively quickly, okay? The value to us is the liquidity and lack of volatility if an emergency happens. But the cost of us holding money in cash is inflation and the opportunity cost from not investing in higher yielding assets. You can explore the value holder hierarchy for other ways to hold your emergency fund from the last chapter. My favorite way to hold money is in a maximum cash value whole life insurance policy that I can borrow against tax-free and without penalty while also having a death benefit attached to it. So that's how I hold my emergency fund, is in a maximum cash value whole life insurance policy. Okay, simply by messaging the bank, the insurance company, I can borrow against my policy if any emergency were to occur, right? And it is supported by my death benefit, all right, or collateralized by my death benefit. All right, so that's your emergency fund. Step 5. Now, once your emergency fund is full, you can increase your contribution to your sacred stash from 10% on up, and you can start sending any remaining true profit to your fund, right? True profit to your fund. Your sacred stash is for investment. Your fund is for enjoyment. We must balance living in the present while preparing for the future. So we're taking care of our sacred stash first, right? Because this is where we're going to plant apple trees from. But if we want to eat and enjoy life today, right? We want to enjoy the taste of our life today. We have a fund set aside for it, okay? So this is how the process and the equation works. Your fund is also a savings account in inaccessible bank number 2 with your sacred stash. So they're in the same exact bank. The reason why is that at any time you spend money on something from your fund, that expense or liability must be matched by an equal contribution to your sacred stash. This is why they are both at inaccessible bank number 2. So when I buy that $2,000 furniture set or $3,000 furniture set, I need to match that's in my fund, or that $3,000 vacation. I need to match that because $3,000 leaving my family now. I need to match that by putting $3,000 into my family in its future at the same time. So I actually can't go on that vacation again until I actually have $6,000. If I only have $3,000, then we can only afford a $1,500 3-day weekend, right? Because the other $1,500 has to be matched into the sacred stash. All right. So if you spend, we're at the top of 223. If you spend $1,000 on a new couch set from your fund, you must also contribute $1,000 to your sacred stash. Therefore, to get a new couch set, you need to have $2,000 in true profit. The fund should have a specific financial target based on your wants, right? Perhaps it's a $1,000 couch set or a $3,000 vacation or a $10,000 used car. These are one-time expenses that will never come back to you. The money leaves your personal economy forever. Enjoying the fruits of your labor is okay, as long as we plant seeds that will bear more fruit in the future too. Enjoying the fruits of your labor in the present moment now is okay, as long as at the same time we plant seeds that will bear more fruit in the future too. Okay, I'm gonna highlight that. Same time. That's the key to this equation. So if I see that I have $10,000 in my sacred stash, it means that I also had $10,000 dedicated to just fun, where I just circulated the money. It wasn't about buying an asset and making an investment. I just got to enjoy that money. All right. Step 6. Now that the system's pre-investing stage is set up, we want to add more revenues into the system through a secondary active income stream. Doing so will help us accelerate how quickly we fill our operating expenses and emergency fund accounts to get in a position to start investing from our sacred stash. This revenue stream usually starts as active income too, meaning that you are still trading time for money. You want this to be something that has no to low startup costs and can produce positive cash flow within 30 to 90 days. It may be working extra hours at your current job or moonlighting to make some more money at a second job. If you are more entrepreneurial, it could be a side hustle based on something you already know how to do from your job, or another skill like gardening, fixing phones, catering, or a side hustle where you leverage an existing platform like Uber or Airbnb. We are looking for immediate cash. We're not looking for a long-term investment startup business, right? We're looking primarily for an existing business model that we can simply step into. It's not always about creating revenue streams, and sometimes you can just go jump into a revenue stream. It's not always about creating a new revenue stream, right? Sometimes you can jump into one. It takes a long time to actually build the Panama Canal, right? To create that stream, it took a long time to build that. Whereas there may be something else that you can already jump in. Now, there may be other people who are already in there as well because it already exists, but you might get to the cash faster, right? An additional way that you can bring money into the system without compromising your joy and peace will help you get to the investing stage where we can begin acquiring cash flowing assets that appreciate and generate passive income. All right. So we're looking for a secondary active income stream, right? To add on to our primary, which is likely our job or our business. Okay. Step 7. Active income stream number 3 may develop from secondary active income stream number 2. Okay. Where it is started out as a side hustle, but it's working and worth your time. Active income stream number 3 actually may cannibalize active income stream number 2, and it may cannibalize your primary stream of income, which is your job or your current business, because you see a potentiality there. Now you want to grow a legitimate business. So active income stream number 2 was just a quick side hustle to bring in some more cash, another $1,000 a month. I started a notary business, etc. Right? Now we are talking about you building a legitimate business that has more scale and potential than your primary stream or the side hustle. Now you want to grow a legitimate business, and you are passionate about the problem you are solving, and you see the economic potential of it freeing you. This requires developing your highest value skill and high quality system. Until your systems are built, this business will still be active income where you are trading time for money. Initially, it may be hard to scale beyond you because you may be the business and the brand, which means no money. And that's okay in the beginning. Being an employee in a business you own and love is better than being an employee in someone else's business you hate. To make sure your business is economically viable, you want to pay yourself like a W-2 employee by sending money from your business to your cash pot bi-weekly. Starting out, it may just be a small amount, but over time, it will increase. Beyond your pay and business expenses, the goal of this stream is not to profit in the moment. Okay, that's not the goal of this. We're trying to build a legitimate business. And when you're building a legitimate business that you see has potential, you continue to invest everything into the business. You want to reinvest every dollar of income back into the business to grow it beyond you, whether that is by hiring, delegating, outsourcing, automating, or advertising. You will find that your business can start to reduce your personal monthly living expenses too, because you may be able to write off things like your home office, cell phone, part of your car note based on them being used for your business. Consult an accountant and run as many expenses as legally possible through your business according to Section 162 of the tax code. To take advantage of this, you should incorporate the business as an LLC or S Corp and create a separate business checking account at Accessible Bank number 1. If you need startup funding for your business, you get to serve as your own bank and draw from your sacred stash. You heard me correctly. If you need startup funding for your business, you get to serve as your own bank and draw from your sacred stash. Okay? So rather than investing in an asset outside of yourself, you're actually investing in an asset that you own and control, which is your business. Investing in yourself and what you're building is typically the greatest investment you can make. When you start seeing profits in your business, you put money back into your sacred stash to make investments in other assets that will generate passive income by taking an owner's draw from the business, right? Now, step 8. Now that the sacred stash has several streams pouring into it, we want to take all of the potential energy like a river dam and release it. The goal is not to accumulate money. It is to circulate money. How is your money going to make money if you never let it go? You are supposed to release money. Re-lease. Everybody type that. Re-lease. Re-lease. When you have a lease on a car, the car company still owns it, though it is not physically in their possession. When you have a lease on a car, the car company still owns it, though it is not physically in their possession. The same is true for money. When you lease money, it is still yours, though it is not physically in your possession, and you know that it will eventually return to you. This is why you have to let money go, family. You are leasing money out to these higher yielding functions than in assets than just a savings account. And when it returns to you, you keep releasing it to the individuals and investments that have multiplied it. All right. So you're in the leasing business, family. You're leasing money, right? And you continue to release money over and over and over. Over the course of your lifetime, this $100 bill should not just be worth $100 to you, right? And then you just spend it down to zero. No, if you continue to release this at 10%, it's going to be $110. Then it's going to be $121, and then it's going to keep on growing by 10% every single year because you released it. You holding on to it, it's only going to go down due to inflation or go down due to you spending it. When you spend money, you end money. So you have to actually release it, but not release it into a liability, but release it into assets. Okay. This means that we must actively be searching for the right deals at the right time. You likely have the hookup at a retail store because a friend or family member works there, where you get discounts on expenses and liabilities. We want to get the hookup on assets and income, and those plugs usually come through relationships as well. How many of y'all got the hookup at a particular store because you know somebody who works there? Type the name of the store that you got the hookup at. Type the name of the store you got the hookup at, right? Because somebody you know works there. But most of the things and most of the stores that you're typing right now, they are liability. They're things that you buy and only decrease in value over time. So we want to take that same methodology, right? And we actually want to get the hookup on assets. And so we're going to have to change the relationship. We're going to have to change the conversation. We're going to have to change the tables that we're at in order to get the hookup on assets. We want to invest in assets that appreciate, generate positive cash flow, and or offer tax deductions. Assets include things like multifamily real estate, stocks, your own business, collectibles, and loans you originate. All right. So one of the keys to multifamily real estate investing is my real estate Rolodex. In New Orleans, for example, I have 3 real estate agents. I don't have one, right? In addition to those real estate agents, I know wholesalers, I know contractors, I know lenders, I know other owners. So I have access to deals before they ever hit a website because it's a relationship game. That's how you get to the cap table that Jay-Z talks about, where you can make an equity investment in something. You're not going to get to the cap table just sitting behind your computer, right? It comes through relationships. Hey, you want to get in on this deal? I know you got the bread. I know you're looking for something like this. You want to get in on this deal. Now, we have to do due diligence and have discernment, right? We have to be able to evaluate those deals properly, right? That's the next step. But ultimately, we at least want to be getting asked to come to that table, right? And then we ask the right questions to get the right information to make that investment or not. Then we take those rents, interest payments, dividends, and capital gains and put them back into the sacred stash while we wait for another deal. And we repeat this process over and over and over until our passive income is greater than our cost of living. If your monthly living expenses are only $3,000 per month and your assets generate $3,600 per month, you are financially free. Financial freedom doesn't require you to have $1 million in cash. $1 million in cash would be helpful, but it must be working for us. You can achieve financial freedom a lot faster when you focus on implementing a system designed to maximize your active income to generate passive income until you no longer rely on active income to live. All right? Jesus said, I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. We are meant to be great stewards of the money that we are receiving. And regardless if you're receiving $3,000 a month or $30,000 a month, setting up this system will ensure and guarantee that you create wealth over time. All right?
All right. This concludes day 29. Day 29 is officially in the books. What are your takeaways, man? Phenomenal section right here. Phenomenal section. Real quick, in the beginning, I said there would be some type of offer at the end here. This is a fantastic system. I use it. I follow it to a T. I have presented it to others, but a lot of people cannot grasp the concept. I don't know why. They want to, but they can't. So I am holding 2-day workshop. There's going to be a cost involved. You don't have to join if you don't want to. If you think you can get it on your own, by all means. Some people do not have a type of financial system. They're all over the place. They need guidance. We'll do a 2-day workshop. Everything is going to happen after this reading. So I'm looking to do the 2-day workshop towards the end of April. If you're interested, right now, I don't have the date set just yet, but if you're interested, I will have the email in the post, coaching@goldtendermovement.com. Just reply to that email in the subject line, put workshop. And as I get closer to that date, I'll send the link out. And if you want to be a part of the 2-day workshop to get all this built out, phenomenal piece. Along with the 2-day workshop, there are going to be some homework involved prior to, because there's a list of things you need to do prior to. The 2-day workshop is just on me pushing you guys to get everything set up. And you're going to really have to dial in and buckle down. Just like when you go to a therapist and you need to talk to the therapist about your problems, you're going to need to put your problems on the table. This is not time to be shy. Like I said, there's a cost involved, so I want you to get your money's worth. Like I said, some people just need that push. Get this thing set up, get it done, get it automated, get the right accounts going on, know what your budget is. None of this work if you don't know how much money you have or how much money you spend. We have to figure all that out first and then set up these accounts so you'll know where to put the money and how much to put. And as you grow and new money come in, you don't waste it because you know where to put it. I'm going to help you with all that with the 2-day workshop and exercises prior to the 2-day workshop. So if you're interested in learning this system and applying this system right now, just reply to the email in the comment section. In the description, I have my email, coaching@goldtendermovement.com. Subject line, workshop. Once I get my dates lined up, I'll send you an email with the payment link and description and what we'll be going over and the things that you'll need. Trust me, if you don't have a system, if you have a system and it works for you, fine. Do not worry about it. But if you're just somebody that needs some guidance and some push and you just don't have nothing going on for you and you're all over the place, this system will work and I can help you set it up. Once again, phenomenal read. Make sure I get your takeaways. And this concludes day 29, man. Day 29 is officially in the books. The cash flow framework. Go back and listen to all these concepts, these jewels that Julian dropped on you. See if they resonate with you. See if you can get it done. If you can't, boom, sign up for the workshop. Like I said, we're going to be doing the workshop towards the end of April, right after these readings. I definitely want to finish the 100-day challenge, and then we can jump into the workshop. Like I said, there's going to be some exercises prior to the 2-day workshop, but the 2-day workshop is where we're going to put everything together. So once again, if you want to attend that, or if you're interested, just give me that workshop subject line in the email. So I have your email and everything on file. And when it's time to execute, boom, I'll send everything out to you and you can respond at that time. Looking forward to working with you guys, man. Day 29 is officially in the books. Looking forward to day 30. Salute.